COSM finding the lows we were looking for yesterday. Now let's go ahead and find out exactly what's going to happen for the coming sessions in this video. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a COSM technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so we are looking at COSM on the bi-hourly chart. We're gonna do the short-term time frame analysis first, using the Crypstex ARC-Series indicators, which are now available to you. Just send me a DM and we'll go ahead and go over the details as to how to acquire these indicators. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and open up first the DBSI. Okay, so yesterday we did mention that we were that the score between the Bears and the Bulls was actually favoring the Bears. If you can see now, that score has evened out thus far. So and also just to put it out there, DBSI has printed a bullish signal here, which usually means a buy zone, if you will. But we do have to practice some discretionary measures here, seeing that we are at a tie, which should be interesting, and looking at the rest of the analysis from here on. Just know that I haven't moved any of the pages, any of the charts just yet. I'm actually coming into this entirely fresh so that we can get a non-biased opinion. You know, there's a lot of haters out there, so we're just gonna go ahead and talk what the charts are saying, and that's it. That's part of the magic. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of DBSI with the score, and let's look at now ARC-Armor. And Armor is, let's see, Armor is giving us the potential of, you can see the waves are actually starting to pivot towards the upside, which is usually what happens when you're starting to get some type of bullish signal. So the directional waves are comprised of several exponential moving averages set together in a very close proximity to get this wave of motion. And in doing so, we actually get this buy and sell signal here. So we are still looking at it. We're not looking at a recovery here just yet. We're still looking at a potential buy signal coming in. But we have mentioned before that the ARC enhanced MACD down here has actually proven to start the bull signals a little earlier. So the ARC enhanced MACD and the DBSI are thus far a little more aggressive than the ARC-Armor. So interesting things to point out right here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next chart now. Okay, so this is the descending broadening wedge that we've been looking at for some time now, and we have said that upon this breakout, we never actually came back to test our newly converted resistance into support. So, sorry, you guys. So just so that I can show, you know, the people who are doubting exactly what's happening here. If there's enough sentiment, I don't usually like to, the thing is that I trade these formations because this is what the mass likes to do. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't really believe in technicals too much. If enough sentiment believes in the technicals, then we use them. But I usually like quantitative analysis. I like statistical data. That's how I trade. Okay, so using these formations is a way for me to grab your attention and to show you and expose you into different ways of how to figure out, into how to figure out the price direction, price objectives of things. So in this manner, we can actually see that the newly converted resistance into support has been tested to the penny for our trend line, and we did say the potential of using the 100-day moving average. Now, I know that we still had the 19 to 21 cent area as a target. Seeing the relevance of the 50-day simple moving average here, I'm not quite, well, remember, I haven't seen the charts just yet, so I'm going in fresh. So we're gonna make that call just towards the end of the video as we move. But usually when we're printing a daily candle like this, I mean, this now you can see there's a larger amount of buy volume here, which is actually an uptick in comparison to the sell volume and the previous buy volume here. So that shows you that a lot of people were looking at this formation just like I was. Okay, so This print is a bullish hammer. So usually when we print a hammer like this in a higher term time frame, that usually does signal a move to the way up. Yesterday, I did point out on MMAT that there was a similar signal like this, and even the signal giving us this, and some of the ARC indicators giving us a bullish signal, and also a whole bunch of other things giving us bullish signals, I denied it. And I said, no, we are going down, and MMAT went down. Okay, it's not that I control it, is that we look for the tiniest nuances, okay? So when somebody tells me, ARCa, you suck, and blah, 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 and then you misspell some word within your huge rant, I'm not going to take that in the credit because you're obviously not looking at the nuances. If you don't care about your grammar, then what makes me think that you're going to care about the trade? You know, I really do look at the tiniest signs, you know, so that we can be able to catch that trade. I care about every single one of you that are following me, and I'm really so thankful about that. There's nothing I'm going to do to jeopardize that, and there's nothing I'm going to do to make you lose money on purpose, okay, you guys? So just know that I'm not like any other YouTuber. First of all, I never wanted to be one. I started this because I wanted to exchange analyses with other like-minded analysts, and I haven't even gotten to do that yet. You guys have been the validators of my thesis thus far, and I couldn't be more thankful. Okay, so today actually marks the day to where I've made YouTube partner, which is cool. So thank you for those who know already. Okay, so let's move on to the next chart because this could potentially be signaling a continuation to the way up, but we need to validate that first. We can't use this as the single form for a validation to the upside. The next chart is representing the head and shoulders formation that we saw here a few days. Actually, yeah, it's been a few days, right? So I actually called it when we were about here, and then everyone else started calling it funny. Okay, so we did, in fact, test it. Let me get rid of some things so we can make it a little easier. For the new viewers, the reason you're seeing this a little messy is because we're continuing. As we're going, we're making the changes and making the modifications and moving along as such, right? So this is why sometimes it's a little difficult to see. Like, for example, this X, I don't even know why I have it there anymore. I think it was this was regarding to an exit strategy for a Discord member that I provided. Okay, so now, again, like the head and shoulders price objective here would essentially be the 19-cent zone, and now in a smaller time frame, in the 4-hour time frame, you can actually see we did print a massive hammer, and in this print of the hammer, a descending channel actually appeared. So I mean, it didn't magically appear. I put it there. I drew this, right? So this does usually, like I said, present a reversal of price. And this following candle would usually be that confirmation candle. It's looking good thus far. Now, let's start counting the tests of the resistance because, as you know, we talk about the golden rule of 3 very often here. Okay, so we're looking at test number 1, we're looking at test number 2 here, and we're looking at test number 3. Usually test 3 presents the biggest drop, followed by an upsurge into a true breakout in attempt number 4. So this test number 4 could potentially be it. We could be looking at a breakout soon, but we will verify that, like I said, in due time. Let's go ahead and just make this little thing here as I am catching a tiny gap right over here, which does present a psychological component to the trade. These are things that we do have to keep in mind, or at least just factor into our results, right? To our probabilities. Okay, so yes, this is looking very good. We could potentially be making that breakout now. There are 2 areas to where we can actually use as a resistance before continuing on to the upside. Okay, so this candle is very good because it has broken the market structure from this candle here, and as you can see that it has been making a series of lower lows and higher lows. So in this case, this has broken that structure. So this could also be a sign for a continuation on. This is basic candle analysis. Okay, so I'm using the basics so that we can understand this a lot better. Another area that I'm looking at here as a potential resistance could be this small gap between this candle wick low and this candle high here. Okay, so this could potentially be another area of resistance. So there are a few things in the way here that are gonna present a tough upside. First of all, we do have the SMA 10 above us serving as a form of resistance. The great thing is that, like we said yesterday, we have the 200-day simple moving average in direct accordance here to this channel, which is interesting. The 100-day is also a form of support, and we now have to combat the SMA 10 and the 50-day simple moving average. But so far, it's looking pretty good. And our let's just take a look here. Yeah, we already mentioned the 200. Let's move on to the next chart, which would be the last chart. So this is the RSI in the 12-hour, and we're looking at the divergence chart here. Divergence is usually the opposition of price action versus momentum, and now momentum being represented by this indicator RSI, or relative strength index. Okay, so in this case, I did mention that upon the closure of the following 12-hour candle, we were to print another pivot, which would indicate essentially just another few drives of bullish divergence. So in this case, when the price action is making a series of higher lows, and the RSI is making a series of higher lows. Well, yeah, we're looking at lower highs. Sorry, it's so confusing sometimes to say that. I'm sorry, you guys. And what I'm basically saying here is this: we are looking at regular drives of bullish divergence, where you can see the price action doing this motion and the RSI making this motion here. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, and since we got a new pivot right over here, we can actually start seeing a bunch of new drives of divergence. Okay, so we're not going to start drawing those actually, because that's going to take too much time. Now it is looking bullish thus far, so let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane and see just what kind of edge we can have for the coming sessions. So for the new viewers, new listeners, I do have the RSI properties here for my RSI, and these are the 4 zones that I would like you to focus on, and they are located right over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just make this a little bit smaller, and now we can have you tag along. Okay, so let's open up the immediate short-term time frame, which would be the 30-minute. Apologies, just lots of water. Okay, so the moving average represented by this pink line is suggesting a continuation to the upside. Now, the RSI signal, which is this purple line, it is giving us a neutral bias. Now, while we sit in this shallow zone of the bull weakness percentile, the likelihood of coming back down into bear weakness is greater. Okay, so the good thing is that we do have the moving average right here, so which can be used as a form of support before a continuation onto the downside. So immediate short-term time frame does not look bearish. In fact, it looks bearish just very, very, very slightly, temporarily. Now, if you're looking at a micro time frame, like a 15-minute, there's a lot of grain in this, but we can just see. So it is giving us a neutral direction. The good thing is that the RSI signal is now away from the shallow areas of the bull weakness percentile, which only means that upside can be imminent. Okay, now the bi-hourly RSI, it is suggesting that neutral thing as well. Now, it feels like the asset in the immediate short-term time frame is a little pensive, or it looks like it's waiting for something. Okay, so that's what it usually you can measure, or you can see a type of psychology here just by looking at how these indicators are sitting. Okay, so this is generally how I look at things. So if I'm looking at this as a person, I'm looking at it as you thinking about something or trying to make a decision as to whether I want to or don't want to. Okay, so now let's look at the 6-hour RSI. We'll switch that up to the 6-hour and take a look here. The 6-hour is also giving us a sense of a neutral signal here. If this continues a little bit lower, then we would be in the deeper areas of the bear weakness percentile, which would then present a possibility of diving right into the bear strength percentile. We don't want that. We still have the moving average above us, which is a little bearish, and as you can see, it's been used as a form of resistance on the way down. Okay, so now the pivot that we have here, it is a lot different than these pivots here. Okay, so there is some weakening from the bears, or the bear strength is actually coming down a little bit. Bulls are looking like they want to take some type of control here. Now, yesterday I did mention on the, I think it was the buy daily. Yeah, the buy daily time frame. I did notice that we had the moving average below us, and I did mention that we could use this as a form of support before continuing on to the upside. It has since done that. Now it is sitting slightly I mean, very close to the weakness, the shallow areas of the weakness percentile from the bulls, and this could likely find another short-term downside before continuing on to the upside. Okay, now the daily is suggesting sideways trading. Okay, so we could be looking at a potential. We could be looking at, unless FOMO comes in or unless a fundamental catalyst comes in, then we're going to be facing some potential sideways trading, because I can see there's fear within this asset. And I can see that the certainty is not quite there. Now, for the people who are saying, ARCa, what are you smoking and stuff like that about me giving you a target of $2.90, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's the rules of this formation, please, for the love of God. Come on. The playbook rules of this formation indicates that the price objective is located at the genesis of the formation. That does not mean we're going there. Man, guys, come on. Like, we gotta get sharp here. We gotta get smart. We gotta start thinking right. Please. Like, we don't got any time to be talking about like the little hates and stuff. Please, man. I'm talking about the playbook rules here. Okay, I mean, if you're really that curious, take a look at this. This is a broadening descending wedge that I caught for IMBI. It is in the process of making that upside. Okay, here's MMAT. When I caught this descending wedge, what did it do? When I was right down here telling everybody, okay, 63 cents, but I do see a price objective of $1.02. ARCa, you're on crack. You're not gonna do nothing. It's not gonna go up. What do you mean? This is over. MMAT is done. No, it's not, man. Dude, God, you guys are really. Some of these people are really so funny. It's like I'm showing you dead proof here, like how it works. Okay, like stop the crap. Get smart, get sharp. Let's do this. We're here to trade real trading. We're not here to pump no stock. We're not here to be none of those YouTubers who just like to freaking call out like, oh, I said this, I said that. No, none of that. I don't call anything. Okay, I don't like it, and in fact, I don't like call outs. I don't do call outs. I tell you what the chart is saying, and that's what it does. That's the difference between me and other influencers, okay? I tell you what the chart is saying. I respect the chart. It respects us back. Okay, we have to respect the craft. We look at the nuances. We move accordingly. We prepare for the next move. We never go in FOMO. We don't do that, okay? We're smart traders. All right, so enough of this crap, please. So let's go ahead and now just... so I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. Know that COSM is potentially making some sideways trading unless a catalyst comes in. That is actually my final say on this. And for those of you who did enter at that place where I was telling you for a bounce, that's very aggressive of you. Be very, very careful. Know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. Okay? Do your own DD and we'll be fine. Okay, you guys, I will try my best to answer you as best as I can. I care about you guys. I really want to make sure that we do this the right way, not the FOMO way, okay? Let the psychology play out. We traded the smart way, okay? We traded on data. Okay, so in this case, you're very aggressive for entering here, and I'm sure you're up about 30% or some odd percent. That's great. Make sure to know your limits. Okay, there is support for you down here at about 30 cents, which would be just at the border of 30 and 31. So it would be more like 31 cents. You do have a support here, which you can find a continuation to the upside, which could actually be very likely for the coming sessions. We could be within this range of support, which is this gap right over here from the wick high of this and the wick low of this candle here. This is potentially an area of support or an area of trading for the coming sessions. Okay. Know also that we have converted the one spot 618 at 34.65 for a continuation onto the upside. There is good within this chart. I just want us to be very wary of what could happen with this. We don't trade this like any other ticker, okay? COSM, all these speculative plays, high risk plays, we don't trade them like traditional plays, okay? We trade them with just utter risk management. Okay, that's the trick for us to be able to survive another day of trading. Okay, with that said, I wish you well. I wish you a very good night and a great weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios.